Imagine this. You walk into Best Buy. You see a beautiful 75-inch smart TV on sale. Right next to it, a tiny $50 streaming stick. And suddenly a question hits you. If smart TVs already have apps built in, why are millions of Americans still buying streaming sticks every single year? And here's the shocking part. In the United States alone, streaming devices like Roku, Fire TV Stick, Apple TV, and Chromecast are used in more than 100 million homes, even homes that already own a smart TV. So what's going on here? Is the smart TV becoming outdated, or is the streaming stick just a clever marketing trick? Because depending on what you choose, you might save hundreds of dollars, or waste them. Today on Tech Vibes, we are breaking down the real difference between smart TVs and streaming sticks. Which one is faster? Which one lasts longer? Which one actually gives you the best experience in American homes today? And by the end of this video, you will know exactly which one you should buy in 2026, because the answer might surprise you. Now let's talk about why this question suddenly matters so much right now in the United States. 10 years ago, most Americans still had cable TV. You turned on your television, scrolled through channels, and that was it. But today, everything has changed. Streaming is now the center of home entertainment. Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube, sports streaming, live TV streaming. Even local news is moving online. In fact, millions of households across the United States have officially cut the cable cord. They rely entirely on streaming platforms. And that means your TV is no longer just a screen. It is now a computer, a device that runs apps, connects to Wi-Fi, updates software, tracks viewing habits, and constantly talks to the internet. And this is where the smart TV versus streaming stick debate becomes important. Because these two devices may look similar on the surface, but the way they work is completely different. One is built into the television itself. The other is a separate device that plugs into your TV. And depending on which one you rely on, your streaming experience can either feel smooth and fast, or painfully slow. Many Americans discover this the hard way. A brand new TV works great for a year or two. Then suddenly the apps start freezing. Menus become slow. Updates stop coming. And the TV that once felt modern suddenly feels outdated. That frustration is exactly why streaming sticks exploded in popularity. But before we decide which one is better, we need to understand exactly what these devices are doing behind the scenes. Let's start with the smart TV. A smart TV is essentially a television with a built-in operating system. Think of it like a smartphone built into your TV screen. It runs software platforms like Roku TV, Google TV, Amazon Fire TV, Samsung Tizen, or LG WebOS. These systems allow you to download apps, Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, YouTube, live TV streaming services like YouTube TV or Sling. Everything runs directly inside the television, no extra device required. For many Americans, this is incredibly convenient. You buy one device, plug it in, connect Wi-Fi, and start streaming immediately. But here is something most people do not realize. Inside many smart TVs, the hardware is actually very limited. Manufacturers are trying to keep the price of the television competitive, so they often include a small processor, limited memory, and minimal storage space, which means the software might feel fast on day one, but over time, performance can slow down. Now let's compare that to a streaming stick. A streaming stick is a separate mini computer that plugs into your TV's HDMI port. Devices like the Roku streaming stick, Amazon Fire TV stick, Chromecast with Google TV, or Apple TV box. These devices run their own operating system, their own processor, their own memory, their own updates. The television becomes simply a display. The streaming device does all the heavy work. Think of it like connecting a gaming console to your TV. Your television shows the image, but the console runs the software. This approach has one major advantage. If the streaming device becomes outdated, you can replace it for $50 instead of buying an entirely new television. And that idea is becoming very important in American households because TVs are getting bigger, more expensive, and people expect them to last longer. Now here's where things start to get interesting. Let's dive deeper into how these two options impact everyday life in the United States. First, performance. This is something people rarely think about when they buy a TV. But performance determines whether your streaming experience feels smooth or frustrating. Streaming sticks are often updated more frequently than smart TV systems. Companies like Amazon, Roku, Google, and Apple compete heavily in the streaming device market. That competition pushes them to improve speed, interface design, and app support. Meanwhile, many smart TV manufacturers focus primarily on hardware, the display, the picture quality, the design. Software updates often become less frequent after a few years. And this is the part nobody talks about. A 3-year-old smart TV can sometimes feel slower than a brand new $50 streaming stick. That's why many tech enthusiasts in the United States plug streaming devices into expensive televisions, even when the TV already has built-in apps. But performance is only one part of the story. Another major factor is the ecosystem. Different platforms behave very differently depending on which apps and services you use. For example, if you are deeply invested in the Apple ecosystem, an Apple TV device integrates perfectly with iPhones, iPads, and AirPlay streaming. If you use Amazon Alexa devices, the Fire TV ecosystem connects smoothly with smart speakers and voice controls. If you prefer Google services, Chromecast and Google TV work seamlessly with Android phones and Google Home. This ecosystem advantage is one of the reasons streaming devices continue to grow in the United States. But there's another layer to this story, and this changes everything. Advertising and data tracking. Most smart TVs today collect viewing data. They track what shows you watch, what apps you open, how long you watch them. This information is often used to deliver targeted advertisements. Streaming devices do this as well, but they usually provide more control settings for privacy. Some Americans are becoming increasingly aware of this issue, and that has sparked conversations about privacy inside home entertainment devices. But beyond privacy, there's another massive factor affecting the decision between smart TVs and streaming sticks: longevity, how long the device actually remains useful. Many Americans replace their TVs every 6 to 8 years. But software technology moves much faster than that. Streaming apps change, new codecs appear, new features like Dolby Vision and spatial audio become standard. And this is where streaming sticks shine. Instead of replacing an entire television, you simply upgrade the streaming device. This flexibility has become incredibly appealing in the US market, especially as televisions grow larger and more expensive. Now let's step back and look at the pros and cons of each option, because both solutions have strengths and weaknesses. Starting with smart TVs, the biggest advantage is simplicity. You buy one device, no extra cables, no additional remotes. Everything is integrated. For many families in the United States, especially older users, this simplicity is a huge benefit. Another advantage is cost efficiency when buying a new television. Many smart TVs already include major streaming platforms out of the box, so you may not need to buy anything else. But there are downsides. Performance can slow down over time, software updates may stop after a few years, and sometimes certain apps disappear if the platform loses support. Now let's talk about streaming sticks. Their biggest strength is flexibility. You can upgrade them easily, you can switch platforms, and they often receive updates for longer periods. Streaming devices are also portable. You can take one on vacation, plug it into a hotel TV, and instantly access your apps. But they also come with small drawbacks. You now have another device to manage, another remote, another HDMI port being used. And sometimes the setup process may feel slightly more complicated for beginners. Public opinion in the United States is divided. Some people love the simplicity of smart TVs. Others swear they will never rely on built-in TV software again, because they've experienced slow menus, missing updates, or unsupported apps. So what does the future look like? By the year 2030, the entire streaming ecosystem could look very different. Televisions are already evolving into full entertainment hubs. They connect to gaming systems, smart home devices, cloud gaming services, and AI-driven recommendations. At the same time, streaming devices are becoming more powerful. Some already include advanced processors capable of gaming and complex video processing. There's a real possibility that streaming devices will become the main computing hub for living rooms, while televisions become high-quality displays. Another trend is platform consolidation. Major technology companies are fighting for control of the living room. Amazon, Apple, Google, Roku, Samsung. Each company wants its software to be the interface Americans use every day, and this competition will shape how smart TVs and streaming devices evolve over the next decade. But no matter which direction technology moves, one thing is clear: streaming will remain the center of American home entertainment. So, what should you actually do today? If you are a student living in a dorm or small apartment, a streaming stick is often the smartest option. It is cheap, portable, and easy to move between TVs. If you are a working professional upgrading your living room TV, buy a good smart TV for the display quality. Then consider adding a streaming device for better performance and long-term updates. If you are a business owner setting up TVs in offices, waiting rooms, or rental properties, streaming sticks provide easier control and replacement. And for everyday families across the United States, the best strategy might actually be combining both. Use the smart TV for basic viewing, but keep a streaming device ready for the best performance and newest features. At the end of the day, the real question isn't whether smart TVs or streaming sticks are better. The real question is how you want your entertainment experience to work, because the television in your living room is no longer just a screen. It's becoming the digital center of your home, and the device you choose today could shape how you watch movies, sports, and shows for the next decade. So now I want to hear from you. Are you using a smart TV or a streaming stick right now? And which one do you think is actually better? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy deep tech explainers like this, subscribe to Tech Vibes, because the technology shaping our homes is changing faster than ever. And here on Tech Vibes, we break it all down.